Presentation, I'm going to show you how to add both animations and transitions. Animations are what happens on the page that you're looking at, and transition is what happens between the pages as you go from slide to slide. First, let's start with our animation on this page. As you'll see on this page, I've added several lines. On this last line it says, unless I want to make a point. So the whole thing says I want each of these lines to come in one line at a time and give my audience something to look at, but I don't want it to distract them from what I'm saying unless I want to make a point. I'm going to add an animation to all of these, and actually let's do it the easy way. Just simply select your text box that has all of these items, go to the Animations tab, and over here where it says Animate Custom Animations, I have two options. There's a standard animation of a fade that allows everything to fade in at once, or I can say by first level paragraph, which is one line at a time, which is actually what I want, and then you can mouse through some of these different ones to see how they work. Decide which one you like. I'm not real fond of the fly-in. If you click Custom Animation, it's going to open a custom animation box that's going to allow you to get even more detailed on it. I'm just going to select this by first level paragraph, and then I'm going to go ahead and open up my custom animation box by selecting Custom Animation, because in addition to these animations, and as you see the 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, it's telling me that each of these 6 items has an animation on it now. I've added an animation to it. I'm going to add another one to this last item because I do want to make a point on this last item. Now there are 3 main types of animations that I can add when I'm adding animations. If I come over here to the right hand side, it says Add Effect. Click that drop down list, and you see there's an entrance animation, an emphasis animation, an exit animation, and actually there's a 4th one called a motion path. Entrance says, as the text is coming onto the page, do something. Make it look like this. Emphasis says, it's on the page, I want you to emphasize this particular text by doing something. Exit means that take some text that's already on the page and exit it in a cute little animated way. And motion path will literally allow you to draw a path where you can have text or a graphic come fly in from a certain direction, swirl all around your page, just do all sorts of things. Motion path is one that I highly suggest you not use in a professional presentation unless what you're trying to animate is showing somebody bouncing a basketball, in which case you could draw a custom path of that basketball bouncing up and down. At any rate, I want to add an emphasis animation. The previous animations that we added were called entrance animations, and you can tell that by looking over here on this right hand side where my mouse is. It's got a green star next to the existing animation. Green star means entrance. Now I want to add emphasis just to this single line. I'm going to select the blink because I think the blink is pretty cool. And I'm going to double click and set some further options on this blink. Now you can see the numbers match up with the animation number over here on the right hand side. So I'm going to double click that blink, and I'm going to tell it on the timing tab that I want it to happen automatically after the previous animation. I want the speed to be fast, and let's repeat that blink. Let's blink 5 times because I really want to add emphasis to this. And click OK. And you see that it's blinking 5 times. Now on the previous animations, these are set up to animate on click, which means that somebody has to stand there and click to make each single line appear, and that's terrible for your viewers of your presentation. So you want to change that on click to happen automatically after the previous animation. So that should just happen for your users. They shouldn't have to sit there and click the page down button or the enter key. Now I want to set up a transition that's going to have a neat effect between all of my slides as I go from one slide to the next. And if I mouse over these different transitions that are up on the top of my animations page towards the middle, you can see the different transitions that can take effect. Let's go to this title slide. It's a little bit easier because when you have an animation and a transition, it can start to get confusing. If you hit the arrow down, you can see there are a lot of transitions that you can select from. There's some kind of 3D animations. This is one of my favorite ones. It's called, I think it's called a spin or something like that. That's what I call it. So this transition literally is how the slide will appear and change from one slide to the next. If I want to apply that same transition to all of my slides, I'm going to click the Apply to All, which is a very good thing to do because you don't want a different transition on every single slide. I don't want to have a sound play. I don't want for my user to have to click the mouse button every time they want to see the slide change or when they get done with the content on the slide. I want it to happen automatically. There's two ways I can do that. Here, I can take off that on mouse click and I can select automatically after, and I can tell it a certain number of seconds if I want, but keep in mind every slide has a different amount of content. So some slides will need to be timed faster and some will need to be timed slower. One of the things you can do is go to the Slideshow tab and rehearse your timings by reading the slides to yourself. It will play your PowerPoint show and you'll read the slide to yourself, and whenever you're ready to click to the next slide, you'll click to that next slide and it will save how long in seconds that slide stayed on the screen for you. You can click to the next slide, read it to yourself. When you're ready to move on, click to the next slide. And it's keeping track of how long your entire PowerPoint show is. Now, when you get to a slide that has animations on it, those should be set up so that they happen automatically. And you need to allow all your animations to play before you click to the next slide. I should be blinking 5 times, 4, 5, and I do believe this might be the last slide. It's the end of the show. It says the total time for the show is 44 seconds. Do you want to keep the new slide timings? I'm going to tell it yes. You can always go back in and change that. Now when I look on my slide, and it automatically took me back to the slide sorter view, when I look on that slide sorter view, it also tells me that I have timings associated with my slides. So we've gone through a lot in this presentation. We have looked at on the Animations tab. We've looked at animations on an individual slide, custom animations, and we've also looked at timings between slides and transitions between slides. That's a lot. Watch this video again if you need to.